Oh, yeah, read it back in 2 and 6. All right, I got it back.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting
So
proverb?
all these, slow down. It says, shall not all these nations take up a parable against thee? Go ahead. Or against him. I mean, him, the him is talking about America. Go ahead.
And a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
That layeth himself with thick clay, meaning all nations are here in America. Go ahead.
Shall they not rise up suddenly?
Shall they not what?
Rise up suddenly?
Go ahead.
That shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them.
So all the nations want to rob Esau. They want to come in and take what's been taken from them. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee and awake? That's what it says, awake, because you got sleeper cells that are already here.
Right.
They already here because they're being, number one, they're being flown here.
Right.
Number two, it's going to be sudden because you're seeing from August 24, well, really from the last 20 years. But for us in our time right now, you're talking about from late August up until now, everything that we just read, they've weakened the economy over there in Afghanistan.
Right.
The country's on the brink of economic collapse. Half of Afghanistan is gonna what did it say? Is gonna suffer from food shortages. You have broken promises where they're supposed to be getting all these people over here, and they're withholding and restricting applications and stuff like that.
Right.
They're taking the money,
Right.
Because above it says $6,000.
Right.
$6,000 later, and 5 months later,
Right.
and they've been given no timeline to immigrate over here. But they in a foreign country somewhere. They in a Kabul or whatever. What, you gonna say something?
No, I'm gonna look and see because that said 40,000 people, right? 40,000 people. Let's say at $6,000. That's $240 million.
You hear Officer Lobby said it fast. You know, Jake do money in their head.
Oh, yeah, he did money in his head. Yeah, right. That's $240 million from that 40,000 people. And only 160 of them have actually been approved. What did it say? 900 and something of them are somewhat processed, but that means out of 40,000.
Well, 930 were denied.
Yeah.
Oh, 930 denied.
Conditionally approved. So so that's 930 plus 160, whatever that number is, times 6,000.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Hey, Esau, they said they never satisfied, so Esau like,
They never
you know how we can
satisfied.
make some more money off of it.
Stacking money hand over.
And they ain't all the way approved. They under conditions. You know,
Right.
Conditions.
Right. I was just going to say, you don't know what the conditions is.
Right.
That's less than 1/8.
Real.
Read on.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations.
Because you have spoiled many nations, guess what? Those nations are going to come in. One, they already there. But then you're going to have others that are going to come in. They're going to come in as, I just want to go to college. I just want to come in and get my education in the land of the free and the home of the brave, home of the slave. But the scripture says they're going to come in. They're going to already be here. They're going to awake because they were sleeper cells, and they're going to bite your ass. So when these terrorist attacks start popping up, it ain't out of nowhere. For everybody else that's worried about the LA Rams and whatever else is going on and whatever.
Nigga them.
Who? Niggas.
Nigga them. Whatever's going on in
there. That's worried about nigga them. They gonna be caught off guard.
Right.
But for us, who our blessed, what we read last week, blessed are you, bless our eyes where you see, blessed are your ears you can hear, because we can look in the scriptures and say, oh shoot, what we seeing right now is coming to pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Read on. Now what verse is that?
Verse 8.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations.
You've robbed many nations. We just talked about Afghanistan.
Right.
A couple last year, or maybe 2020, I forget, we was talking about India, I believe. When it Wiktionary, what the hell is that? We was talking about India with the sanctions in India.
Right.
And they was oppressing them, oppressing their economy.
Right.
It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, go ahead.
All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee
Uh-huh.
because of men's blood.
When it says all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, that goes back up to verse 5. You've heaped all nations to yourself.
Right.
So you got all these nations that are here in America. You're oppressing their family. It's telling you right here. You're oppressing their family in other countries. What you think they're gonna do while they're here?
Right.
You got free access. You got the dark web. They know how to make bombs.
Right.
These wild people we talking about, and that's the spirit that God gave them
Right.
to fulfill His will, which is what we reading right here in the back of chapter 2.
Right.
Mind you, they all these other nations is in their military.
Yes.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So if
Yep.
they want to get behind the scenes on something, get some classified information,
They right there.
Well, remember though, a few years ago, well, now not a few, it's been 10, 15 years ago. Remember that shooting that happened on Fort Hood?
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
that was a Muslim.
I
That
do remember
dude
that.
that went on Fort Hood and went on that shooting spree,
Yep.
killing all them. He was a full-blown Muslim.
Wow.
And he was in the military and had rank in America's military. And when he was ready to pop off, he popped off and killed a bunch of people.
Hey,
it is right.
Yeah, and
there.
that go to your point. I mean, over there, 20 years over there, they fighting. Whenever that 20-year ended with Joe Biden, the aged man over there that's 60, 70 years old, he's not thinking, okay, now's the time for me to go over there to the United States. He's saying, son, I've been telling you about how Esau the damn devil. I'm going to send you over there. You need to take your son over there. Make sure he get an education in bombs. Right. You know?
biochemistry.
Science,
Get you-
yeah.
yep.
Hey, they're saying that his rank he was a major. He was a major
Wow.
in the military.
Damn.
And all of them that come over here, all of them work technical infrastructure. Most of them are in IT. They in transportation. Like they in all of the things that make America operate. And these are the people whose buttons you gonna keep your foot on the neck of their grandmama and their cousins back there and think, come on, man.
They think they're gonna do them like Issachar. You know, Issachar just be happy to be over here.
Yeah, right.
Hey, but you gotta think, you gotta be in their mind state because they've been seeing they people get bombs dropped on them for 20 years, having people invade their country for 20 years.
Yeah.
So for them to come over here and get an education and get payback, that's a light fee for them to pay. That ain't nothing. They not just gonna see that for 20 years, all that death and murder in their country, and then just be like, well, I got his paper now, so I'm good.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's what we do, but that's not what the wild man gonna do.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because you got to think, how do these people in a somewhat third world country get $6,000 to be able to spend like they spend it? Because those that are on the inside in America are doing like we see Issachar and them do. They come over here, they work, get those jobs that make that money, and they sending that money back to Afghanistan. Them guys over there ain't got $6,000 to put together. You know what I mean? So they filtering that money back over there, and that same thing that's being filtered is going to be used to destroy America. You know what I'm saying? With all of their moves, and that's what officers are bringing out.
I was about to say, also to your point, it's an Ishmaelite dude at my job. He just be talking, and he must have said just in passing one day, he was like, yeah, man, me and the guys, his Ishmaelite homeboys, they're going up to a cabin that they bought together. He was like, it's about 8 of us. And he was like, oh, yeah, my cousin owned this tire shop, this auto mechanic shop over here, this and this and that. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, okay, they do a lot of stuff together. But that kind of puts that kind of answers the question like, oh, they got people still over there that they got to do this for, that they got to send money to over there.
Right.
So whenever they get denied, like we've been saying, like, well, you know, that's just fuel into the fire. And the same Ishmaelite dude, every chance he get a chance to, he always say something sly to Esau. Oh, that's white people ish. That's this, that's that. Ishmael be saying it. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, why, man? He's about 34,
Yeah,
35.
young enough, yeah.
But you can see the animosity in him, like, well, damn white people. Like, you can see that.
he old enough to understand, but young enough to still be attached to what's going on.
Right.
And be boiling about it.
Right. Yep.
Hey, if you see his clothes get real big, hit the door, Jack.
Get up out of there.
He coming there screaming.
Damn. Hey. Read on that verse 8.
Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
In the scripts, reloaded.